Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Monday Night Must See TV with the Hudson Valley Squares. We've got in the house Butch Jones, Sydney Taylor, Nick Franco, and Ryan Scow. We might have Lynn Versace and Steve Keeler joining us soon. Chris Allo's on vacation. So tonight's topic is all about our favorite heavy metal debut albums. Okay, so heavy metal. Hard rock stuff is coming next week. So if you don't hear some of your favorite bands tonight, there's a good chance, and here comes Steve, there's a good chance that it might be on next week's show that we consider it more hard rock. So we're trying really hard to separate the metal bands from the hard rock bands. As Steve is jumping on, here comes Steve Keeler. Everybody, let's all clap for Steve. Hey, Steve.
Slow clap.
Steve, you can do it, Steve. All right, there's Steve Keeler. What's going on, Steve?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's happening?
Good, I'm almost late. I'm late. Wow.
It's all right. Everybody's coming in. Now Lynn is here. All right, here we go. So I will hold off for a second and wait for our last person here.
Take three.
Waited. What's up, Lynn?
Hey, can you see me?
No.
Not yet.
Oh, what the
I
hell?
can hear you, but I can't see it.
Now we can. There we go.
Do you like my shirt?
Hey, be nuts if it was upside right though.
Very upside right. There you go.
What do you mean it's not side right?
No, you're sideways.
Turn it.
She's in the rotor.
Like that. There you
There
go. Now pan down.
Now let's see the shirt. The butcher shop shirt. There you go.
Is that a
Nice.
Dallas Cowboys star behind you?
Listen, I'm in my son's room. It's the only
Oh.
place he's in quiet. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but he is.
Why is your son a Cowboys fan?
That's the
He
bigger
was
one.
dropped on his head when he
Yeah,
was
you
little.
failed as a parent. That's all right.
Well, I failed as many things, but what can I tell you?
So once again, our topic tonight is our favorite heavy metal debut albums. Hard rock debuts are coming next week. So like I said, I'm sure we're going to get some people comment. Well, what about this band? What about this band? What about this band? We probably consider those hard rock, or maybe there's just some metal picks that we didn't think of tonight. So I've asked everybody to put their list together. As always, since I normally go last, I've got a big stack here. And once one's mentioned that I have here, I'm just going to throw it out and I'm going to go for something else. So, so anyway, so we're going to start, we're going to go Ryan, Sydney, Nick, Butch, our center square again, 2 weeks in a row, Steve, Lynn, and myself. So Mr. Scow, kick us off with your picks here today.
So when Pete mentioned this, we said 3 albums. We just expanded it to 5, so I just grabbed 2 more. But I wanted to make it hard on myself, so I said, you know what? I'm only going to do newer bands, which I just broke because I picked an album off the shelf. I only wanted to do heavy metal bands, not like black or death metal, which I again broke. And I only wanted to do like newer bands, like the last 20 years. When I say new, I mean 20 or so years. And I broke that too, so fuck it. So I'm just going to pick the albums here. So first one is a great band from San Francisco. This is from 2001. The band was called Hammers of Misfortune.
Oh, they're awesome. I like
Good
that.
one. Yeah.
It's so they're I don't know. This is a weird band. It's like traditional heavy metal, but there's also like some Jethro Tull in there. There's like some a little spritz of black metal, like 5% black metal, a little like folk rock, like I don't know, like kind of classic folk. I don't know, it's like a weird mix, and just like a lot of classic like Manila Road, Old Judas Priest, Iron Maiden heavy metal. And the album tells a story too. It's broken into acts, goes through this whole thing. The lyrics kind of follow. So it's a concept album. Obviously, very fantasy themes like sword and sorcery. No, it's a great album. And I'm picking it because I've had it for 20 years now on CD, but they just finally put it out on album or vinyl. This awesome gatefold, all kinds of cool shit. So, yep, that's what I'm going with. First one is Hammers of Misfortune from San Francisco.
Excellent.
Second one, I just played this for Nick the other day, so I'm going to pick it tonight. This is a newer band with a weird name from Rome, Italy. Cool artwork, weird name. Band is called Vultures Vengeance. I don't know what's up with that name, but it's some cool fantasy art. You know what? Obviously, the band picture is going to give away a lot here. Yeah,
Hey.
Really strong album. Really strong album.
Yes, it's like 90s. You know what? It's like 90s Blind Guardian and Running Wild, like that classic European power metal. Obviously, being a European band, so they kind of carry the torch for that. For me, there's some new bands that do it, but these guys do it in like a very old school, traditional way. Like maybe first Hammerfall album. Like Hammerfall kind of changed a bit. but very, very early Hammerfall, like maybe a little bit of that, a lot of good guitar leads. The singer does sound a lot like Hansi from Blind Guardian. He has that sound to him. So, yep, this is a cool album. This is the Night Lore. This is brand new. This came out in 2019, so it's pretty much brand new by standards of most of the stuff we talk about. Awesome album.
I would say, Ryan, musically, I hear a smidgen of Manowar, early Manowar on that album.
Ooh,
I could hear that, like the first maybe 2 Manowar albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear that. No, it's a really, really good album. It's the only album they have out so far because they're a new band. The third band, I only have this on CD, so I'll take it out of the case to avoid glare. This is an American band. They are from, I had to look this up. They're from Los Angeles. They broke up years ago, but they only put out 2 albums, and this is their first one. It's called Crescent Shield is the band, and the album is The Last of My Kind. It has this cool kind of like futuristic fantasy art. The singer unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. Their bassist though, Melanie Cisneros, I fucked that up. She actually did play with the Iron Maidens, like when they first started. She was their bassist way, way long ago. So that's kind of how I heard them. Maidens obviously been around a long time. This is just great classic American power metal. Awesome, awesome guitar playing, awesome vocals. The guy had a really unique voice. It's kind of hard to describe how he sounds. I can't compare him to any other singer. So I just say, check them out on YouTube. Both of their albums were great. They did one more called, look that up too, The Stars Have Never Seen. And then unfortunately that was it. So awesome band. Really, really good American power metal. So that's moving right along here. The fourth one. This isn't really traditional metal. This is a band from Minnesota called Obsequy. And the album is called, make sure I get this right. This is Suspended in the Broom of Eos. So it's black metal, but all the songwriting, all the composition is based in medieval music. Like not like, oh, it kind of sounds medieval with castles and singing about swords and sorcery. It's actually based in. Now I'm ignorant on musical theory, but it is based in like medieval musical theory, like that composition. You can hear it too. It sounds like no other black metal I've ever heard. It's very I think Nick, you've actually heard this band.
Sequia. Yeah, they're really good.
Actually, I even said the name wrong. I fucked it up. No, this is a great band though. It's they got a lot of interludes with medieval harp and harpsichord. It's great stuff. So they put out 3 albums in total. This is the first one. I just grabbed this off the shelf last minute because we jumped up to 5 picks. But this is an awesome album. Highly recommend it. Checking this out. And the last one, going way off in left field here. Moving over to the Czech Republic, going back to 1991. One of the first Eastern European black metal bands was Master's Hammer, and their Ritual, which is I know most black metal, think of Norway, think of Scandinavia, Mortal, Emperor of Mayhem and stuff. But these guys were as early as any of them, maybe even earlier, because their demos go way back to the 80s. And these kind of set the standard for like how Eastern European black metal sounds, which is totally different than like Scandinavian. It's like a whole different world. It's more based on like traditional heavy metal, less blast beats, less screechy vocals. There is that, but they didn't really go in that direction as much. So this is a really, really cool album. I got this from the band a year or 2 ago. They reissued it on vinyl because the vinyl for this used to go for stupid prices. So again, really nice gatefold. This band took some of my favorite photos in metal history. Just absolutely ridiculous. I think that's a fucking awesome photo. So this is Ritual from Master's Hammer. They put out a couple albums. They got real weird after a while, like more electronic music. But the first 2 albums are like kind of really good Eastern European, awesome fucking black metal. That's what I'm going with. So
cool. Interesting looking cover there.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Yeah, I grabbed that at the last second. So I'm like, bam, Master's Hammer. Just to pull something off. But no, it's a really, really good album. I like it a lot.
Cool. All right, Sydney, what do you got?
All right, cool. So we're doing 5, right? I assume 5. So I have a couple in here that some may be surprised. I tried to really, dig into some albums that I don't really talk about, and some people might be shocked that I actually listen to. But my first pick, and I was thinking about this, my mind automatically went to Megadeth, and I have to go with their debut record, Killing Is My Business, and Business Is Good. I love that album. I've always been more of a Megadeth girl than Metallica, to be honest. I love Metallica, but Megadeth is just where it's at for me. And I think that they really found their sound right away with this album. Like, you listen to this debut record and it just set the stage for what Megadeth sounded like, you know, for years to come. So I love the title track. There's just some killer songs on that record. And that's always the one record that I think about when I think of like really like heavy, you know, metal debuts that I love. The next one, I also am so bad with props. I only have like two of my props next to me. But the next one is one that people I think might be really surprised that I listen to, because I've never really mentioned this. But I'm gonna go with Scream Bloody Gore by Death.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
I love Death. I'm not one of those people who listens to death metal quite often. I got to be in the mood for it, but Death is one of those bands that I genuinely really love. Spiritual Healing is one of my favorite albums, but this one is just killer. I mean, a lot of people cite it as, you know, the birth of death metal. You know, even Martin Popoff, who's not joining us, you know, kind of thinks that way about that record too. And Chuck is just amazing. He's one of the most talented musicians I think that has ever existed. You know, lead guitar, bass, vocals. He did everything. So I had to include that one. You know, Zombie Ritual is a great song. The title track is great. It's just, I love that album. And it's one of those, Death is just one of those death metal bands that I can listen to probably any day and be in the mood for it. So that's my number 4.
Oh, yeah, or
whichever. They're really not in any specific order. They're just kind of the top 5. My number 3, I'm gonna go with another one of my favorite debut thrash metal records, and that's Exodus Bonded by Blood. I found a newfound appreciation for that record after I saw the documentary Murder in the Front Row, which was a whole, you know, thrash metal doc. And I've always really liked Exodus, but after kind of really listening to their story in depth, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the most knowledgeable person prior to watching that documentary, but it really enlightened me, and I listened to that album many times all the way through after I watched that documentary, and it's one of my favorites. I mean, the lyrics to Bonded by Blood, like Murder in the Front, it's so good. And I think that they just really had they just captured a certain place and time, you know, with the Bay Area and just everything that they were doing. So I had to include Bonded by Blood in there because I really love Exodus. Next up, I had to go with one of my very favorites of all time, and that is Holy Diver by Dio. To me, it doesn't get better than this. This is a perfect record from top to bottom. It's just, Caught in the Middle is my favorite Dio song of all time. It's unbelievable. And I mean, we all love this record. There's nothing I'm going to say that is going to shock you guys about this album. And I'm sorry if I stole this one from you, Butch, but
Nope. I'm gonna keep it.
Me.
But I don't know. Dio's just this just captured all the magic, and I love all the records that he did after this, but this one is just like the pinnacle for me. It doesn't get any better than this. And my last may be controversial because it's a little bit borderline hard rock and heavy metal, but it was enough metal that I said, screw it, I'm going to include it, and I don't really give a shit. So I'm going to do Blizzard of Oz for sure.
Yeah,
That's
I was like thinking about it. I was like, it kind of borderlines on being hard rock, but to me, when I listen to this album all the way through, it's heavy metal. Randy Rhoads is my favorite guitar player of all time. I love Randy so much. I actually I'm gonna be on, I don't know if any of you have heard the channel Reels. They're doing like these rock documentaries, and I just had a crew come to my house today, and I'm gonna be a part of the Ozzy episode, but I got to talk about Randy, and it just like made my whole life. So I love Randy. This record is just another one of those records like Holy Diver that's absolutely perfect to me. I could listen to this all the way through over and over again. I don't care how many times I've heard Crazy Train or Mr. Crowley. It never gets old. So this is my number 1. Randy Rhoads forever, dude. It's just incredible. So those are my 5.
Cool. Nice.
Excellent.
So what I'm going to do going forward when we do these shows, because I always go last, I always pick more than I need. because, and I try not to duplicate what anybody else's picks. So from now on going forward, after everybody goes, I'm going to tell you how many I'm down. So I'm down 2 right now from my original stat. So with that said, on to Nick.
All right. Wow. I feel like everybody, you guys so far have explained these records so great. I don't think I'm going to be able to today. I don't know why. I'm going to stumble over it. But the first thing I'm going to do is going to go with the obvious. And I wasn't, and Ryan, we talked about it. I wasn't going to go with obvious stuff, but I'm like, what am I going to, what standards? I have to do my favorites, right?
Go whatever you want, buddy. Whatever you
Yeah,
want.
but you know, because people are complaining that we always talk about the bands. So I'm going to go way off the reservation and just start out with Iron Maiden.
Hey, Nick is supposed to be your 5 favorites, so that's exactly it, man.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, again, like there's nothing I can say about that hasn't already been said. But I only wish I was there to hear it in, you know, 79 or 80 when it came out. So
The first Maiden is classic, man. It's classic.
yeah, and it's
Such a
just
good record.
absolutely
Wish it was produced better.
Well,
yeah. I don't care because it's just what I heard and
songs
what
are
I
just great. Yeah.
That title track of that record is probably
so classic.
it's my favorite, I think, Maiden song of all time. It's
Oh,
just,
nice.
It's
Phantom of the Opera is one of my favorite.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, on there too. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and they have, you know, like bangers like Sanctuary and Prowler and Charlotte.
Charlotte Wallet.
It's just fantastic. And Remember Tomorrow is such a beautiful, you know, prog.
Oh, yeah.
So it had it all. So from the great, huge Iron Maiden, I'm going to go out to a local, more unknown act, and the band is called Sanhedrin.
Oh,
They're-
good. Wow.
Yeah, well, I know some of you guys might know them, but if our listeners don't know these guys, they're from Brooklyn, New York, and their first album is called A Funeral for the World. These guys formed in 2015, and if you like, I mean, this record, it's not reinventing the wheel, but I don't think they're trying to do that. They're just trying to make good traditional heavy metal in a very convincing manner, and they've done it. You hear a little Sabbath on here, you hear a little Dio, little Priest and Maiden, female singer Erica Stoltz. She's got a great voice, great bass player. And then Jeremy, their guitar player, his leads are amazing. These guys, like, they're a 3-piece. I highly recommend everybody checks them out. The title.
Do we see them? I saw them. I don't know if it was with you.
I've seen them a few times. They opened for Slewfeg. There was like 25 people there. I mean, they're so good.
Wait a minute.
They also opened for I think either it was Webster Hall was either Venom Inc. or Satan. I don't remember which one.
They opened for Satan. They opened for
Okay,
Satan.
that's the show.
Yeah.
I remember at that show, and they kicked ass. They were really good.
Nick, who did you say that you thought that they opened for? What was the name of the band?
Slewfeg.
Slowfeg. Same singer as these
It's
guys.
pronounced Slew.
Actually, it was the Lord Weird Slowfeg.
Yeah.
And they dropped
Well,
that.
yeah. But no, the word slew is a weird word, right?
Slow?
Sloth, slew. No, I
Yeah,
looked it up.
I can't, I'm butchering that.
Slew in Florida, I'm telling you, I slew. Anyway,
You never let me down, buddy.
these guys are incredible, and they deserve a lot of recognition. I hope they can continue on, and I think they're based in California now. Okay, and then from there, let's see. Well, we're gonna go with Devin Townsend's Ocean Machine. It's his first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his first solo record. It's called Ocean Machine Biomech, but everybody just refers to it as Ocean Machine. It might be the most important piece of music I've ever heard in terms of emotions, and just, I don't know, just gets me. It's proggy, it's hard rocking, it's soft in places. I don't know. I'm terrible at describing music, but you guys should definitely. I mean, most people have heard of Devin Townsend, but if you haven't heard this album, just put it on, throw the headsets on, go for a walk. It's incredible, incredible, incredible stuff. 1997, it came out. He recorded it at a time when he was like kind of losing his mind, and you know, some of that mania is trapped on the album in such a great way. It's just amazing. Okay, and then for my last two, I'm going to get a little bit more extreme. I thought about picking Seven Churches by Possessed. It came out in 1985. And it's incredible, you know, birth of death metal kind of stuff along with Death. But I have to go with Morbid Angel's Untouchable, Altars of Madness.
Yeah.
This album will punch you right in the soul, just right in the freaking balls to this day. it's just perfect from start to finish.
Is it the
Chap-
soul or the ball? You gotta pick. You can't. You
Balls,
gotta,
the soul,
Well, I
The
guess
neck.
the soul for women, balls for you guys.
There
So
you
the-
go.
right
Uh,
in the girl balls, right in the man
So
balls.
the most
all
important question though is, does it make you want to run into a wall? That's
This makes me want to, you know what? This makes me actually want to build a wall and then run through it.
Why would you want to run into a wall?
Build it so you can break it, right?
that's what Nick does. Runs into walls.
I'm not really sure why you'd want to run into a wall.
He's not seen me at the chance running into people.
He does that. Yeah, it's a release.
No, I'm usually bartending.
I've never seen him run into a wall. I've seen him dive into a dumpster. I've seen him dive into garbage
Yeah.
in New York City.
Well, things can be
Yeah,
interpreted.
yeah, so I
Right.
guess diving and going through a wall would be like Nick after a energetic metal show, running and jumping into a giant pile of Pepsi bags.
I've run
seen
into
it.
Ryan. I've run into Ryan at shows. That's like running into a wall. But
Yeah.
anyway, Morbid Angel really took death metal to a whole new level with this, man. So Altars of Madness is just madness. And then for the end, I'm going to go with my Portuguese favorite band from Portugal, Moonspell.
Yes.
Yeah, this is this Century Media from back in the day, like, you know, when they changed this cover. So this is the album
Yeah, that's
Wolfheart
the real one.
95. And this is like, they took a little bit of Bathory, a little bit of like Gothic flavoring, smattering of black metal and some,
Just like
you
a
know,
smidge of
traditional,
black metal.
yeah, a little pinch. And they just created this bewitching, epic, poetic, dark, vampiric kind of freaking metal that I listened to this album with the same reverence that I did when I first heard it when I was 18. I found it by accident in the mall and I looked at that window and I said, yep, it's right up my alley. Wolves.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, unbelievable debut album, gateway album into extreme black and death metal that I think has something for people who also like typo negative kind of stuff. So that's 5 right there, right?
It's still my favorite Moonspell album for my money. I like that more than anything they ever did. And they're a good band. But
I love Moonspell. And their
I-
new album is still in the rankings for album of the
Like-
year this year.
Like when they talk about Michael Bolton in Office Space, I celebrate their entire
Catalog. Exactly.
They're an amazing,
My
talented
favorite line.
band. Stage presence, everything about Moonspell, I think is great. And some people do consider them to sound a bit, he sounds like Pete Steele to some folks, his vocals, you know, because to me, you know, Fernando's vocals are like, if you explain, it's like, how about Count Dracula singing to you? That's how
He
he
can go from like
That's
sounding
fucking
like,
hot.
yeah,
That's
he goes
hot.
from like sounding, yeah, he's hot, totally hot. He goes from
That's,
sounding
I mean, I
like,
never saw the guy or heard the guy, but now
Yeah.
that you just said that, I'm gonna go put it on.
I'll
You
send
like
you,
these
I'll send you a link. But
Yeah,
you-
that's
you
hot.
can.
they've played the chance before.
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen them.
Whatever, that's hot.
He can sound a little bit like the Sisters of Mercy and then a little bit like Bathory and, you know.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think Lynn would like them because they're not like ultra heavy or.
No.
Listen,
Hello.
anybody singing like Dracula to me, game over.
Hello.
And after this,
If you guys
Don't
wanna,
listen-
if you guys wanna get
Dracula.
friendly with Lynn, just talk like Dracula and sing like him to her.
go listen to the song Vampiria when you get off this thing. Vampiria, blast it.
That's hot.
That's hot.
All right, so I'm down 3 now. So
Oh,
moving
I'm
right
down.
along.
Larry.
I'm
Our
down,
Center Square.
I'm down more than you, I think.
Mr.
I'm
Butch
down,
Jones.
Well, no one's done honorable mentions, so I want to do some honorable mentions first before I get to my
Were
5.
we allowed,
No,
were we
boo,
allowed to?
Oh, with
It's
the
up to Pete.
rules?
He made pick ours.
Want me? Exactly. You want me to just roll through mine then? I'll just
Go through
okay.
yours first, yeah, and then if
But
we
then
have
I
them,
feel
we'll
bad. That's
specific.
the reason I do honorable mentions, because I feel bad that I leave people out.
Oh, stop it.
All right, so no order. This is no order of my top 5. So we'll just start here because it was already mentioned. Because 1983, Vivian Campbell Discovery. This album was so huge to me. I feel the same way now hearing it as I did when I was 15 years old and hearing this. And it's just, Ronnie sounds tremendous. Viv sounds tremendous. It's just a phenomenal record. And
Butch, is that the original LP?
yes, it is.
Wow, I'm amazed at how the colors have held up all these years. The red and the Dio logo is
And
just,
all the little
Mine's an
pictures on
original,
the
too.
inside and everything.
yeah, see, Sydney, yours looks like mine did when I
Yeah.
sold it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like it's dull, but Butch's, maybe it's Butch's light. I don't know, but
Which
man,
is
the red's on that cover.
Pretty
which is,
bright.
It's
It's
blood
pretty
red.
bright.
You know, Butch's house is like a fucking museum, so everything's pretty.
It's been sealed in plastic for,
Yeah,
for quite a
exactly.
long time.
This one I got at a record
Wonderful.
store. Like I think I got this 3 years ago, but it's in about as perfect condition as you would ever be able to buy.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm more like the colors, because I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
like when I got rid of mine, the red was a little on the dull side, but Butch's is
Okay.
like,
Yeah, it's pretty bright. It looks
Yeah.
like just like when I first got it. So Lynn, I'm gonna leave one off because I'm not doing my honorable mention, so I'm gonna leave one off for you.
Well, it's a good thing because then I'd be fucked. I'd have nothing left.
The debut
yeah.
Wasp album.
Oh,
Mm.
mother effer.
I will argue with anybody about this record. This record is tremendous.
Oh,
The
it's great.
drumming from Tony
I love it.
Richards. Tony Richards right there. One and done. No one's heard from him again on another record, but he destroys in this album. Chris Holmes is tremendous. Man, this record still holds up. It sounds great.
Totally.
84 brings me completely back in time. Just a great record that I listen to a lot still.
great. So
Yes.
now I'm going to get 10 comments below that are going to be like, see, Butch loves Wasp. What's Pete's problem? He hates him. He refuses to do a show.
Oh my God.
Well,
don't even
okay,
watch.
so going back to that then, I like Wasp up to a point. I like Wasp up to Headless Children. After that, I'm done. Headless Children, and that's so you start with this, great way to start. And then for me, Headless Children is awesome too. That's a great way to end. And then after that, Blackie got silly and I don't care. That was, what is it, S2.
Too, yeah.
So number 3, I really want to ruin it for you, Lynn. I really do.
Mother
Oh.
effer. I'm already down 4.
Oh yes.
Number 3 is my favorite thrash album of all time. My favorite Anthrax album, their original pressing, because it's pink, and I got it signed by Scotty Ian too. The original pressing of the original Anthrax, Fistful of Metal.
So good.
Great New York band. Got to watch them grow up, basically. Again, this is another one of those albums. I hear this and it just completely takes me back to 1984, being in high school and just being like, wow, I've never heard anything like this before.
Metal
And-
thrash and mad.
And they went on to great things, and they changed a bit, and I liked them a lot with Joey Belladonna, and with John Bush too. But sorry, that's the
I was gonna
record.
say.
So good.
There's a cover song on there that Sydney might like. I don't know.
Yeah, they do a cover song that Sydney loves on that for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Going more modern metal, a band that I talk about all the time. Actually, these last 2 bands I talk about all the time, trying to get people to get into them, because unfortunately they didn't get what was just due to them. So I only have the
That
I don't
was
know if it
coming.
actually came out on album or not, vinyl, but
Come closer.
I'm coming closer. I got to work out the stupid blinding light show I got going on here.
Got to show that nasty thumbnail. Come on.
It's a toe.
No,
It's a
toenail,
big,
whatever.
It's a big toenail. You
It's
can
still
see that.
nasty, whatever the hell it is. Right?
It's awful. It's
Yeah.
the debut record from the band Scrape
Like,
out of Florida. Man, I don't even know what to tell you. Well, you even still got the original stickers that came with it. Look at that.
Is that with the hot drummer?
That's what Will Hunt.
See?
Yeah.
I
That's
remember
what
from
Will.
that.
I love this record so much. I listen to this record from top to bottom all the time still. The drum tone is phenomenal. The guitar tone is
yeah.
one of my favorites. Produced by Ulrich Wild. He did a great job. Great songs. You know, called new metal because of the era that it came out with, and in the early 2000s. I think that's 2001. It's heavy as fuck. It's straight ahead. There's nothing new metal
It
about
is,
it except that there's no guitar leads, because that's what was going on then. But I don't know. I love that record to death. I always have and always will. I've always said it's in my top 10 favorite debut albums of all time, and so living up to it. So that's one of my favorites. And another album that I talk to ad nauseum. I try to turn people on to this band since 1984, and there's no doubt it's the debut Icon album. I don't even know what to say.
So good.
This record deserves to be owned by everybody that's a metal fan. It really does. Great vocals, different vocals, great songs. One of the greatest recorded guitar tones in metal history. Dan Wexler, John Aquilino. My God, this debut record is tremendous. Mike Varney produced it, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Mike Varney. I don't even know what to tell you. Just if you've never heard this album, please check it out.
Okay.
It's that good.
World
This-
War, great
this-
song. World
This-
War.
which one?
World War. I
Oh,
love
World
that
War is
song.
great.
Oh,
Absolutely.
it's such a good record. It's so good. And like even that was like definitely the heavier record, but I also even love Night of the Crime, which is
Night
more
of the
of
Crime's
Another
awesome.
Crime's really good. Yeah.
AOR kind of more style record than that one, but they're so underrated.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the first two are the only two records that have the original singer who was the great singer, Stephen Clifford. And then after that, they really changed their style and tried to get commercial and completely changed. I have the records. I don't dislike them, but it's like a different band. It's nothing like those first two records. The other stuff is good. If you had never heard the other two, they're good, but the first two are must own metal albums. If you like early 80s metal, American stuff, it's you have to listen to that record. Just go on YouTube and find it. I'm telling you.
Cool. Well, I'm still at -3. So
I'm
and
at
I have a
-4
feeling,
and
I have a
counting.
feeling with Steve is going to doom me, I think.
Yeah.
So
I'm at -4 and I think Steven's gonna pick my last one.
I could definitely take Lynn's, but I didn't do it.
I don't think you took the one. I think I have the one that Lynn is holding on to.
Well, he might have the last one.
Let's
All
see.
right.
all right, Steve, what do you got, Steve?
All right, so no real particular order, and I would have picked another one, but I'm shocked that Ryan didn't pick Amorphous Tales from a Thousand Lakes.
You know what? I love that
Not
album. That's
there.
actually my favorite Amorphous album. But
It's
no,
not their debut.
Wait a minute, it's not the debut album.
No.
Oh, I'm totally out of line then.
Come on, Steve.
I was thinking about it for a minute, but
Yeah, Steve, we're doing sophomore album. It'd be right there as number one.
sophomore albums. Yeah, I got that one wrong. So anyhow, we're gonna go with number 5, 1985 Halloween Walls of Jericho.
I was gonna
Halloween
pick
or
it,
Halloween?
but I left it
Halloween.
for you guys.
You know what?
Halloween to you, my friend.
Nick
Halloween.
actually said, I bet you Steve's gonna pick the Halloween album.
Yeah, I left it for
Jericho
you.
starts out with Starlight, a
Yeah.
victim of fate. Well, the title track. I love Metal Invaders. I
Gorgar.
love How Many Tears, Judas, and of course the mighty Gorgar. The song about pinball.
Just thought of another band that I forgot.
Yeah,
I bet
me
there'll
too.
be more. Number 4, I'm going to come in also on a 1985 with Overkill with Feel the Fire.
That's a great album.
Hell yeah.
Days of the Dead, Rotten to the Core, There's No Tomorrow, the title track, one of the strongest thrash metal bands, and still is in 2021. Overkill, been putting out quality stuff for years.
Ever from the beginning.
Really never doled out very much at all, and I think they don't get as much credit as they should, because they should be in the 4. They would be in my 4.
Yep.
What are we at number 3? I'm gonna go with a band called Merciful Fate. with
Motherfucker.
Melissa. I
There's
didn't
my
pick- I
goddamn
didn't pick any
record.
clean dry, Glenn. I didn't pick any
Fucking-
clean dry.
Whatever.
Oh, you had that one? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you get fucked
Oh,
at
you
the
should have
drive-thru.
texted me earlier. I would have picked Testament Legacy or something instead. But anyhow,
Whatever.
Merciful Fate, Melissa, of course, Evil, Curse of the Pharaoh, Sound of the Demon Bell, Black Funeral.
Amazing.
Perfect album from head to toe.
Amazing. The best.
Perfect album from head to toe. And number 2, I'm going with one of the bands that introduced me to thrash metal. Picked this record up. I don't have props tonight. I'm really bad during the
That's all right, Steve. I'll take care of you.
In the wintertime, I have more props, but I bought this record sight unseen. Unhearing it. It was sight, and I looked at this album and it had a bloody hammer. It said "Kill 'Em All." It was Metallica, 1983, and of course, Hit the Lights, Four Horsemen, Whiplash, Motor Breath. I got this thing home. It was the heaviest shit I had heard at that time, and I had to put that in the list. Of course, we know Metallica kind of changed a lot over the years, but that album is still Yeah, one of the albums we want to hear, a thrash metal album, put that on. And number one, I'm going with Slayer's Show No Mercy.
Great record. So good.
And
Amazing. The fucking
Evil
best.
Knows No Boundaries, The Antichrist, Dive a Sword, Fight Till Death, Black Magic. It's my favorite Slayer album. I think it's Pete's also.
Every song is perfect on that album. Every song.
Amazing. And you
So
can
awesome.
really, and on that record, you can, especially on certain songs, you can really hear just their influence. Like it's really some like songs are really Iron Maiden sounding, and like you can
Yeah.
really hear that. It's so good. It's such a great record. It almost made this close.
I left off that one and held.
And Sydney took my Exodus, Bonded by Blood, and my what was the other one you picked? You picked another one I was gonna pick.
Scream Bloody
Oh,
Gore.
Death, yeah.
Yeah.
And Nick took the Iron Maiden album, so
I had to do that.
oh, of course.
Yeah, we were expecting that.
Yeah.
If you
Thank you,
didn't, I would've been
Steve.
shocked,
Steve, you
but,
completely decapitated my list, but I had a feeling that was coming.
I'm done. I'm done.
And now I think Lynn is going to put like the icing on the cake. So go ahead, Lynn.
Icing on what cake? There is no cake. There's no cake.
left.
I
Not
was
even a
literally fucked at the drive-through. I mean, there's no cake. I got like all my records, like my Ozzy, my Dio, because Vivian Campbell, right, the little 18-year-old Blizzard of Oz, the Iron Maiden, the fucking Merciful Fate, Melissa, because I love King Diamond's voice. You have to get used to it, I have to say. I'm gonna go with Queensryche. I'm gonna go with Queensryche because I know you're all waiting for that, even
Exactly.
though they had the 4-song EP first, really.
That's
But-
EP, not album.
Yeah.
Well,
that's-
whatever.
like
In
album.
1984, you know what? They had The Warning, Before the Storm, Roads to
Warning is
Madness,
an
and my
excellent
favorite,
album.
Take Hold. And I guess I'm gonna have to add some of my honorable mentions since I was so screwed, which, well, oh, man,
Pete made you go late.
Dio, I don't know. What else am I gonna pick? I'm gonna pick Def Leppard On Through the Night, even though they're not really metal, but fuck you, because it's hard, it's harder than.
It was new wave of British heavy metal.
Yeah, it was raw, it was edgy, it was
Yeah,
youthful,
no.
whatever. So I'm gonna go with Def Leppard On Through the Night, which was an honorable mention, but I'm gonna pick it as one of my ones. And then just to be a dick, which again is probably not metal, but I'm gonna pick Motley Crue Too Fast for Love because that's all I got left.
Metal.
And we all knew you were gonna pick that.
Well, but I wasn't gonna pick it. It was in my honorable mention. You guys
Well, how'd
led
that
me
work out
down
for
the
you?
road of madness.
Well,
You know
good
what?
thing you had
Fuck
a- good
this
thing you
shirt.
had the
See this
backup.
shirt? First and last time I'm wearing this shirt.
Wow.
Never again.
Maybe if
The
you
nicest
slipped,
shirt you
maybe
own.
if you
I
slipped
got
those
this
20
shirt
bucks.
delivered to me by Mr. Jones himself, and it's the first and last time because he's not playing nice in the sandbox.
Well, I gave you Queensryche, so be happy.
Taking my
Yeah,
ball.
I'm
and going
happy.
home.
I got decapitated by everybody else, though.
You had the first Decapitated album? Which one was that?
Yes, yes.
wind
It's,
was
it's
all-
alongside of necrotic gallbladder.
There you go.
Lynn, what about Lynn? Aren't you a big Hatebreed fan? What about them?
I like Hatebreed, but you know what? That's not what is on my list right now.
Okay.
That's really more
tried.
hardcore,
He
Nick.
tried.
Wasn't on my list, God damn it.
All right. I'll go fuck myself.
Get hardcore.
God damn it.
As you should.
Oh, yeah, such potty mouth. I don't know if I can do this show anymore. There's so much swearing.
Steve, shut up.
Uh,
Foul language.
well, I'd like to hear what Peter's got left since I was screwed.
I don't have much, but I was able to think of a couple others. So, all right. So of the ones I still had,
That's what.
of course, because
Pete
everything
said.
else got taken. I'm amazed that nobody mentioned two of them. First of all, self-titled debut from Metal Church.
Great.
Was on my list. Was on my list.
What
Wasn't
a
even
great
close to being on my list.
What a great
Wasn't
album.
wasn't on my
This is
list.
a great album.
Here
Here comes one.
first Black Sabbath album.
I think we all thought Chris was gonna be here.
Yeah.
so-
I know, and Chris wasn't here. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm picking that.
That's why I was like,
I was
yeah.
going to leave it for him, but since he
Yeah.
wasn't here tonight. So
I love-
Where's Chris Allo?
where's Chris Allo? He's going to Pittsburgh. So
Oh, he's going to AEW.
Pittsburgh.
that's
Wow.
right. That's right.
Chris Allo, I bet he's gonna have some good food there.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Just don't fuck around with that.
How about Sirens by
I
Sabotage?
thought of it. That's a good one. Didn't think of it.
March of the Saint by Armored Saint.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh,
Mm.
inspired.
No, I had it here.
Mm.
And can you see that? Oh, yeah, the light hits it good. Look at that. Autographs from 1984.
There
They
you go.
personalized it.
Looks like that came out good.
What else you got, Pete?
got there.
Testament, the Legacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And the other one I had, which was Candlemass, Epicus, Doomicus.
Oh,
Lynn, you could have done King Diamond Fatal Portrait.
Pete, I
I
was
thought
gonna
of that
do,
too.
No,
I even
left
wrote
the
notes down for
Leopard.
Candlemass, but I left it for, I was like, I figured you were gonna do Candlemass.
Now, I consider this metal at the time. It was a form of metal. I would not call this hard rock.
Yeah, that's
It's
yeah.
glam metal, hair metal, whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
Yeah.
metal.
But I got one that I got a classic that I really wanted to use. I knew no one was gonna come up
Is
with.
that Zeppelin?
Nice.
that's
Oh,
a great one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's a great
That's a
pick.
good one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Pretty much the one and only.
Played that to death.
Pete, what else you
Oh.
got? Anything?
That's it. That's
You
it.
know what what was, Court in the Act? Was that what,
Oh, Satan. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I
great
thought
album.
of that, but I got into them a little bit later, so I left them for like, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a ton that we didn't cover, but
Oh, there's a ton.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Every single week, it's so hard to like. There's so many that just fly out of the brain that I get.
Last week was tough as that title track was crazy.
I mean, you know, you figured what's there 200, 300, 400 metal bands? And
Right.
you can pick 5.
Right, you can pick 5, and then you think about it, and you kind of hone in on the ones you're thinking of, and then all of a sudden it's like the rest of them just fly out of your brain, and then I always remember them. Like the second I hit leave meeting, I'm like, God damn it!
Well, Steve said something. I don't even know why it triggered it, and I yelled out that I just remembered one.
Yeah, what
One
was
that
it?
I played to death, and I really am kind of mad at myself that I didn't think of it before. I don't know if it would have made it or not, but it would have been an honorable mention like it is now. Exciter's Heavy Metal Maniac.
Oh,
yeah.
that's such a
That's-
great record.
Man, that seeing that album, talk about going to a record store and seeing that album cover. I mean, it was cheesy looking, but it looked so cool still. The Marshalls with the knife in it and everything.
Oh, the first
Good,
Sepultura.
I never got into Sepultura.
I love this album. This album sounds raw as shit.
Does it? I've never heard it.
What's
Yeah.
that?
It's more like Venom or like I don't know. It's very primitive compared to how they later sounded. But yeah, I like that.
I like the Sepultura better with Derek singing.
Really?
What was the album? What was like the first album that he was on? I think that was the one that I heard that I liked.
Again,
Against,
Yeah.
But Jason Newsted, right?
Oh,
Or
I
did he
think
come in later? Jason Newsted spent some time in Sepultura.
I think that's later. I would
he
think.
was he? He was in Voivod. I don't think he was.
Yeah,
in
he was in Voivod for
Oh,
sure.
maybe let me go to the Metal
I think
Archive.
you're bamboozling yourself there, Nick.
Did I get myself messed up? Yeah.
I only have one honorable mention left myself.
What do you got, Steve?
Immolation, Dawn of Possession.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
No one mentioned Raven.
Nobody
Oh.
mentioned Raven.
First Raven
Dog?
record's great.
My dog Raven? Oh,
He's a great dog.
Pro Wrestle Raven.
It is so many, man.
You got a
I don't
dog
know.
named after a heavy metal band and an ECW.
That's over
superstar.
again.
Lane, can you like stop talking when you hear other people talking and then talk?
Oh, go fuck yourself.
What did you say? None of us heard what you said. What did you say?
I said go fuck yourself.
Before that.
Wow.
Well, no, seriously, you were talking. I don't think anyone else could hear what you said.
I
just-
just said I'm not going second to last ever again.
Be more prepared.
You know, if you send a little PayPal, if you send a little PayPal to Pete earlier in the day, like a $25 spot or a $50 spot, he will get you in early.
No, I can't be prepared. You know why? I work 7 days a week and I have 5 fucking jobs. I don't have a minute to prepare.
Listen,
So I'm not picking 18 fucking albums.
forget giving Pete $25.
Dude,
Give me
man.
$25 and I'll do your picks for you. at least give you backups.
Hold
Yeah,
this.
give Butch $25
this.
instead of Pete's
No,
50. He'll do
my
'em.
phone friend and the shirt's going in the fire. Into
Oh,
the
shirt's going on
fire.
the flyer.
I give you 10 albums in 5 minutes. Hang on.
It's karaoke time. No.
I was
Let's go.
thinking of Voivod, Ryan. I was thinking of Voivod.
Yeah, he wasn't Voivod, just for a couple of years, but yeah, he was
Yep.
never in Sepultura.
Yeah, I never got Sepultura.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either, but so
Mm.
I have a couple of their albums. They're okay.
Beneath the Remains.
Schizophrenia, Beneath the Remains, and
Oh, the
Arise.
Maiden shit I love. Yeah, the 80s shit. That makes me want to run into a fucking wall.
I mean, as seeing them with Derek a lot, I've always enjoyed their performance. I just haven't really listened to their studio albums that much with Derek Green, but every time I see them, I'm very happy with watching them. I've seen them a bunch of times. with their,
Beans, and
Rise.
that's all I need. That's like 90%.
Rise.
beneath the remains, they were at the Rock Palace and we were drinking quite a bit that night.
That's one of the best thrash albums ever. But that's getting off topic.
So there you have it, everybody. So 1 week from tonight, we will be doing this once again, except with hard rock debuts. So now I think it widens up even more. And the interesting thing about the hard rock thing is that we can go all the way back to like the late 60s pretty much. So the hard rock kind of covers lots of decades. So this should be interesting to see which way everybody goes. So Butch, once again, you are center square. So final thought of the evening, and please don't make it something about hockey tonight.
God damn it, Butch.
Well, this time, because today actually marks the 33rd anniversary of when Wayne Gretzky was traded from the Edmonton Oilers to the LA Kings, which in sports is a monumental thing. The greatest hockey player of all time gets traded in the prime of his career to a team that didn't make, he had just won the Stanley Cup, got traded to a team that did not make the Stanley Cup playoffs, and then that next year beat his team that he was on previously in the playoffs. So it's a sad day. 33 years ago, when Gretzky got traded, which is why I'm wearing my Wayne Gretzky hat.
Oh,
There it
God.
is.
You promised Messi
Shut up.
wouldn't happen. Right, but
Yes,
Oh.
I promised Messi.
fucking amazing.
No more hockey after this until September.
All right, there you go.
Almost hockey season again, the time's flying, but.
Exactly.
Wow. Baseball season
will-
is just about over, so it's like I'm ready for anything at this point. So
I'm an Orioles fan. My baseball season is over.
the New York Mets have just like crushed me over the last couple of days. I'm like, I'm done. I got to find something else to do every night. So
boy.
Yeah, my parents just went to see the game when the Phillies played the Mets.
Oh, I saw that.
They were,
Yeah.
guess who they were rooting? They were rooting for the Phillies.
Oh, yeah.
well, we're Yankee fans, but
and I'm going to a game Sunday. I'm going to my first Met game in like 10 years on Sunday, and I'm like, I don't even care now because it's like they've already thrown the season away. I'm like, whatever. So
Who are they playing?
the Dodgers.
Oh, well.
I mean, yeah. So it's cool because I don't think I've ever seen the Dodgers live, but the Dodgers are probably going to steamroll them. But
Yep.
whatever. So
Sydney, let's go to a Ranger Flyer game and fist fight in the stands.
oh yeah,
All right?
yeah.
I'll let you win.
all right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Remember, please subscribe to the channel. Click on that notification bell. We've got the link to our merch page. We've got the link to Butch's merch page. We've got the link to the Ko-Fi page if you want to make a donation. And of course, the link to seatranquility.org, which has been on the internet 20 years here in 2021.
Wow.
Can you believe it? For Lynn, Nick, Butch, Steve, Sydney, and Ryan, I am Pete Pardo. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Cool.